Okay, let's do this first part together. Goal: I can show and describe how ionic bonds form in binary compounds using drawings or models and sentence frames. Remember to use your notes, Vocabulary of Ionic Bonds, Lesson 6. So the first box says transfer the electrons. Drag the electrons to make atoms stable. Tap the T above to drag. And then there's a reminder here. Reminder from lesson 4, metals lose electrons to get to 0 and nonmetals gain electrons to get to 8. So they all want to get to that stable energy level, which is full, and they can do that either by losing or gaining. So when I drag, I need to be in the T mode, so I just tap the T up here, and now I'm looking at this Na, and I want to think about what does it want to do to be stable, and then I'm looking at this Cl, and what does it want to do to be stable. Now if the Na loses one, remember that underneath that energy level is another one that's full. So Na has 8 electrons underneath there, that if that one is gone, then it will have that full layer underneath. So that's why we say 0 is stable. It's not really that 0 is stable, it's that when I lose this electron, it will be full underneath. And then the chlorine, because it has 7, it would like to gain. So the idea here is that you can drag them to make the atoms more stable. So now, if sodium, Na, lost one, remember that losing is positive, Lip. Losing is positive. It lost 1, so it's a positive 1. And the chlorine, on the other hand, gained 1, and gaining is negative. That's kind of backwards from like math, but it's gaining a negative electron, so it becomes -1. And I remember that by gin. Gaining is negative. So then down here, the Na lost, and the chlorine gained. And you can even say gained 1 and lost 1 if you want. And I'm just going to stick with the colors to help you see that. And then when an atom becomes positive, the Na is positive, it shows me up here, right? Because it lost 1 electron. When it becomes positive, then it is a cation. Remember the T for cation can look kind of like a plus sign. And the anion is a negative, so the Cl is an anion. So we always have one that loses, one that gains, one that's a cation, one that's an anion. All right, now on this side, the right, what is the ratio of ions you see in the picture? A lot of people thought we were asking for how many electrons there are, but the ion is the whole thing now, right? It was called an atom, but now it's called an ion. So I'm counting how many Nas I see, and I only see 1 Na, and how many Cls I see, 1 Cl. So not 7 Cls, it's only 1 Cl. It had 7 electrons, but it's only 1 ion of Cl. And then when it's a 1-to-1 ratio, the formula shows how many ions there are to make it stable. So NaCl is the formula that means 1 Na and 1 Cl. And to name it, in the next part here, I name the cation just like I do on the periodic table, so that's sodium. But with the anions, notice that it says that change the anion to ide. And you can see your notes for the ide names, or just think about like dropping the ending. So chlorine, instead of chlorine, becomes chloride. Now in this part, this first one, we have two examples you can look at. It says, tell the story of what's happening. Write at least 3 sentences to summarize. First, then, as a result. Other transition words you might use: next, at the same time, finally, therefore, similarly. And the word bank is important also to say atom, ion, cation, anion, positive, negative, transfer, electron, lose, gain, stable, octet, bond, ratio. So my first example here, okay, in this section now we're going to do the summary of what is happening in the picture above. And so I saw that the Na lost and the chlorine gained, became a cation, Na, and the chlorine became anion. I want to put that all together in a summary. So we're going to use our first, then, as a result transition words. And there's some other transition words here that might help you. Next, at the same time, finally, therefore, similarly. And this word bank with lots of words from our unit. The more you can work in, the better practice it is. So I'm going to read example 1, and then we're going to look at the one below. So it says, first, the Na loses 1 electron and becomes a cation. Then the Cl gains 1 electron to become an anion. As a result, they bond and become stable. And that's what happened up here when we dragged the electron over. Now, if I want to see another example with a little more vocabulary, I'm just going to delete this box. Here's example 2. First, the Na and Cl atoms do not have stable octets. Therefore, Na loses 1 electron and becomes a cation. At the same time, the Cl gains the electron and becomes an anion. In other words, the electron transfers from Na to Cl, making them both stable. As a result, they bond in a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's okay if you leave this one and just go to the next, or you can delete this text box and try your own here. But if you don't try it here, then you will want to, for sure, do a good job on telling the story for the next 2 pictures. All right, but use this one as the example.